Ever wondered why the slow tortoise won the race against the fast hare in the famous Aesop's fable? Let's take a stroll down the lanes of this intriguing tale, and you'll see how it holds a powerful secret to building wealth. The story of the tortoise and the hare, as we all know, is a classic fable penned by Aesop, an ancient Greek storyteller. Aesop, through his simple yet profound narratives, has imparted countless life lessons that have transcended centuries. In this particular tale, the swift hare, confident in his speed, decides to take a nap mid-race, underestimating the slow and steady tortoise. The tortoise, on the other hand, moves at a steady pace, unwavering in his determination to reach the finish line. And as the story unfolds, the tortoise, despite his slowness, wins the race, teaching us a valuable lesson. Slow and steady wins the race. Now, let's shift gears and think about this fable in the context of building wealth. You see, the hare represents those of us who seek quick riches, the get-rich-quick schemes that promise a fast track to wealth. They sprint at the start, dazzle everyone with their initial success, but often they burn out too soon, much like the hare who decided to take a nap, confident in his early lead. The tortoise, however, symbolizes a different approach to wealth creation. It's the steady, disciplined, and patient way. It's not flashy or fast. It's about saving consistently, investing wisely, and letting the magic of compound interest do its work. It's about understanding that wealth creation is a marathon, not a sprint. Aesop, through this simple fable, teaches us that the race of wealth creation is not always won by the swiftest. It's won by the consistent, the patient, the disciplined. It's won by those who understand that true wealth is built step by step, day by day, year by year. It turns out this ancient fable holds a powerful secret to building wealth. And that secret is the power of persistence, patience, and steady progress. So, as we delve deeper into this journey of wealth creation, remember the tortoise and his unwavering determination. Remember, slow and steady does win the race. So what's the secret hidden in this fable? Why did the tortoise win? Well, let's delve a little deeper and unravel the mystery. The key to the tortoise's triumph were two simple yet powerful virtues: patience and consistency. And these virtues are not just crucial in fables, but also in the real world, particularly in the process of wealth creation. Imagine the tortoise as your savings, and the hare as a get-rich-quick scheme. The hare, with its speed, is much like these schemes that promise quick wealth. It's tempting, isn't it? But remember, the hare took a nap and lost the race. Similarly, these schemes may seem fast and attractive, but they're fraught with risks and can lead to significant financial loss. On the other hand, the tortoise, slow and steady, represents regular saving and investing. It might not seem as exciting or speedy as the hare, but it's reliable and consistent. And this consistency is what brings us to the finish line in the long run, just like it did for the tortoise. Just consider this. If you tuck away just a small amount regularly, say every month, and invest it wisely, over time, this can accumulate into a substantial sum. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about keeping a steady pace, not rushing to the finish line. And that's exactly what the tortoise did. It didn't rush, it didn't rest. It just kept moving forward slowly and steadily. Think about some of the wealthiest individuals in the world. Warren Buffett, for instance. He didn't become a billionaire overnight. It took him years of patient and consistent investment. He's the perfect real-life example of the tortoise in our fable. The tortoise won because it was patient and consistent. These are the same principles you need to build wealth. So keep in mind, it's not about speed, it's about consistency and patience. Slow and steady not only wins the race, it also builds wealth. Now let's talk numbers. Ever heard of compound interest? Imagine you're planting a small seed in a pot. Over time, with the right care and attention, that seemingly insignificant seed grows into a magnificent tree. This is quite similar to how compound interest works. Let's break it down. You see, compound interest is the interest you earn not just on your original investment, but also on the interest that your investment accumulates over time. It's the process of your money making more money, which then continues to make even more money. Quite a fascinating cycle, isn't it? So, let's say you start with $100. and you receive an annual interest of 10%. By the end of the first year, you'll have $110. The compound part comes in during the second year. You earn interest not just on your initial $100, but also on the $10 you gained in the first year. So, at the end of the second year, you'll have $121. Now, this might not seem like much of an increase, but remember our seed analogy? Just like how a tree grows, slowly but surely, your investment too will grow exponentially over time. If you were to continue this process for 20 years, your initial $100 would grow to a whopping $675. This is why it's often said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. It's a powerful tool that allows your wealth to grow faster and larger, much like a snowball that keeps growing as it rolls down the hill. But there's a catch. You see, compound interest is a long-term game. The real magic happens over years and decades. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. That's the magic of compound interest. It's like a snowball that keeps growing as it rolls down the hill. But when should you start to invest? The answer is as early as possible. Let's imagine two friends, Alice and Bob. Alice starts investing $100 every month at the age of 25. Bob, on the other hand, waits until he's 35 to start making the same monthly investments. Fast forward to when they're both 65, their retirement age. Alice, who started a decade earlier, will have a significantly larger nest egg compared to Bob, even though they invested the same amount every month. But why is this? This is due to the magical power of compound interest. When Alice invests her $100, it grows over time. The following month, she invests another $100, which also grows. But here's the secret sauce. The interest she earned from her first month's investment also grows. This cycle continues month after month, year after year. The interest earns its own interest, which in turn earns its own interest. This is compounding, and it's a powerful financial tool. Now let's look at Bob. He started investing 10 years later. That means he missed out on 10 years of compounding. Even though he invested the same amount monthly as Alice, he ends up with a significantly smaller nest egg at retirement age. The lesson here is clear. The earlier you start investing, the more time compound interest has to work its magic. Even small amounts, when invested regularly and left to grow, can accumulate into significant wealth over time. It's like planting a tree. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Same goes for investing. Even if you feel like you're late to the game, don't be discouraged. Start now. Every day you wait is a day lost for potential growth. As the famous investor Warren Buffett once said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." Remember, the earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. But what if you don't have a lot of money to start with? Well, that's where discipline comes in. Imagine you're like the tortoise in our fable, starting with just a small sum. You might feel that it's insignificant, that it won't make a difference. But here's the beauty of discipline. If you consistently set aside even a small amount of money, it can grow over time into a substantial nest egg. This is the power of regular saving and investing. Think of it like a seed. On its own, it might not seem like much. But plant that seed, water it regularly, and give it sunlight, and it will grow into a mighty tree. The same principle applies to your money. Even a small amount, if nurtured with discipline and patience, can grow into something substantial. Now let's talk about compound interest. This is where your money starts working for you. When you save or invest, your money earns interest. And then that interest earns interest. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger. This is the power of compound interest, and it's a key tool in wealth creation. But compound interest needs time to work its magic. And that's where discipline comes in again. You need the discipline to leave your money alone, to let it grow. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time, once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." This underscores the importance of discipline in wealth creation. So don't be disheartened if you're starting small. Remember the tortoise. It didn't have the speed of the hare, but it had discipline. And in the end, it was the tortoise that won the race. It's the same with wealth creation. You don't need a large sum to start. You just need discipline. Regular saving and investing, coupled with the power of compound interest, can take you far. Discipline, like the tortoise, can take you far in your wealth creation journey. So, how does all this tie together in your journey of wealth creation? You might be wondering. Let's recap the key points we've explored so far. We started with the intriguing fable of the tortoise and the hare, a timeless tale that carries a profound lesson for wealth creation. The tortoise, though not as fast or flashy as the hare, triumphs in the end through patience and consistency. This is the first principle of wealth creation: patience. Wealth isn't built overnight, it's a long-term endeavor. We then delved into the secret behind the tortoise's success: compound interest. Just as the tortoise's steady pace eventually outpaces the hare's speed, the power of compound interest allows your wealth to grow faster over time. The more you save and invest, and the longer you let your investments grow, the more your wealth compounds. This is the second principle of wealth creation: taking advantage of compound interest. Next, we discussed the importance of starting early. The earlier you start saving and investing, the more time your wealth has to grow. This is the third principle of wealth creation: starting early. It's never too soon to start building wealth. Lastly, we touched on the role of discipline. Just like the tortoise, who didn't let the hare's initial speed discourage him, you need to stay disciplined in your savings and investment habits, even when it seems like you're not making much progress. This is the fourth principle of wealth creation: discipline. So, are you ready to start your journey of wealth creation? Remember, it's not about getting rich quick. It's about patience, taking advantage of compound interest, starting early, and staying disciplined. Wealth creation is a marathon, not a sprint. Building wealth is a journey, not a sprint. Just like the tortoise, slow and steady wins the race. Remember this as you embark on your journey. Be the tortoise and let your wealth grow steadily and surely. Now, if you're finding these insights valuable, do consider subscribing to our channel and hit that notification button. After all, who doesn't want to unlock the secrets to building wealth, right? By subscribing to our channel, you're not just adding another name to your subscription list. No, far from it. You're joining a community, a group of like-minded individuals on a journey to financial independence. You're securing your ticket to a wealth of knowledge that could potentially transform your financial future. We're not talking about get-rich-quick schemes or dubious investment tips here. What we offer is a roadmap to understanding how money works, how to make it work for you, and how to build and grow your wealth over time. Think of us as your personal financial guide, ready to help you navigate through the often confusing world of finance. But don't just subscribe and forget about it. Hit that notification button. Why, you might ask? Well, each time we upload a new video, you get a notification. That's your cue to tune in and soak up the latest insights, strategies, and tips we have to offer. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you learn, the better your decisions will be. And in the world of finance, good decisions can mean the difference between struggling to make ends meet and living the life you've always dreamed of. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Embrace the opportunity to learn and grow. After all, the journey to wealth is not a sprint, but a marathon. And every step, every bit of knowledge you gain brings you closer to your financial goals. Before we wrap up, let's revisit the fable of the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise won, not because he was the fastest, but because he was consistent. In the race to wealth, consistency is key. Regular investments, disciplined savings, and patient waiting are the hallmarks of successful wealth creation. Remember, the race to wealth is a marathon, not a sprint, and we're here to guide you through it. Before we wrap up, here's a thought to ponder upon. An influential figure in the world of finance, Warren Buffett, once shared a pearl of wisdom that aligns perfectly with our journey today. He said, "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." This simple yet profound statement is the essence of the tortoise and the hare fable we've been exploring. It's about shifting our mindset from immediate gratification to long-term growth. It's about understanding that true wealth isn't built overnight, but gradually with patience, discipline, and the power of compound interest. Remember, in our race towards financial freedom, we are the tortoise, slow, steady, and disciplined. It's not about getting rich quick, but about building sustainable wealth over time. Let's apply these principles in our lives and watch how our wealth grows, just like the tortoise in the fable. Until next time, keep investing and keep growing.